Hello and welcome to the Weshtern Philosophy Podcast. Two friends with oceans and oceans discussing the unseen forces in our lives through the lens of music, mystery and crack. This week marks our season finale. We went back to our roots of lunchroom chats by going to the Morning Dew in Corofin on a Friday morning before our weekly chat session there. Between wrangling guests and feeling mighty exposed and nervous, it's a bit of a frantic one, but we still think you'll get something out of it. The topic is cycles.
We got an Instagram message from a gentleman who is well into his 80s, late 80s, and he left Clare when he was, I think it was in the 50s that he left, lives in the same province in Ontario, where we're from. And he still listens to Clare FM every day. And he heard an interview of a Canadian couple opening a cafe in Clare and wrote us an Instagram message and said, next time I'm in Clare, I'll come and visit. And sure enough, he walked in with his daughter with a tiny little Canadian flag, waving it. Oh, isn't that amazing?
Oh, it's lovely to see you, John. So just taking the...
No one can verify this or disprove it, but John Lillis is just off mic and off camera. If you can imagine such a thing.
So you've hit the button, yeah? The big red button.
Long time ago.
Oh, God.
No. So
right. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, it's so different when you're not in the normal environment. Anyway, So we're in the Morning Dew this morning.
Yes.
And we've come full circle to our roots of chatting to each other for hours in cafes while it rains outside.
Yes, and we'd love to say that all this feels exactly normal and natural, but we're used to Blarney being our only audience.
Yeah. So well, and people who only tell us afterwards that they are our audience.
Yeah. Or apologise for not listening at all.
Yes, exactly. But, yeah.
So, hello to the Morning Dew.
Crowd goes wild.
The crowd goes wild. I will. Everyone's being so polite, but I will say that we're not trying to disturb everyone. We're doing a live recording in a working cafe with all the technical limitations and fun and chaos that brings. So thank you, everyone, for tolerating us. Yeah.
And he's
Bart,
looking at me like, Bart, take it away. Well, we usually have a topic, and Anthony very wisely suggested the topic of cycles, which I thought was really nice because it has been a full cycle of one season. It's just been midsummer as well. Kind of feels like we're taking the long stroll into autumn, which has been emphasized by the weather turning for the worse as well.
Yeah.
And, we're set up here. We have an open mic for anyone who wants to bother us.
Yeah.
And...
I'm watching John's progress on his little almond flour brownie. We're tracking that.
It is very apt because he was a very popular, guest.
Yeah, John Lillis, poet, producer, DJ, multidisciplinary artist, and star of the Weshtern Philosophy podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. Did you know? Oh, no, sorry, no, I shouldn't. I was going to tell you. I was going to talk to him.
Are you going to have a conversation with John while he doesn't
you
have
can't
a
talk
mic?
back. No, you can't. Sorry. So,
Nadaa, the proprietor, is here. Hello. Thank you for having us, Nadaa. For anyone who doesn't know Morning Dew, it's an absolutely class little cafe in the town of Corofin.
It's not that small either.
It's not. Everything's small to you, Bart.
We did a horrible promo video for this one. Where I belittled Anthony,
and a horrible choice of words. So Morning Dew is it's lovely and large, I think, if anything, for a cafe. But Nadaa is an artist in her own right, and she has transformed the space into not just a friendly, cozy cafe, but a place where you can pick up artwork by local artists, very, very beautiful artwork, and supporting local people. And she also has a pop-up shop for Palestine, where people can browse and know the money is going to a good place. So definitely pop in and have a poke around and have one of those almond brownies that John is enjoying so much, because they are really, really, really good.
Yeah, I was speaking to a friend of mine from Kilfenora who doesn't go out much, and I said, "Oh, we're playing tunes in the morning dew on Fridays," and he was like, "Oh, jeez, I went in there, the best cheese toast I ever had." And I was like, "Have you been back?" He's like, "No, but I'm looking forward." So that was lovely. So if you got that on camera, Nadaa, you can clip that out and you can put my.
Nadaa, come in and say hello. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
You can film from this side of the desk.
We need to lower the threshold a little bit of people sitting down here.
I can stand.
Yeah, okay.
You can do
we
anything you
didn't account
like
for
as
height when
long
we put
as
this.
you.
Oh Jesus Christ, Anthony! Will we put this just on the tripod? He's going to have to do so much cutting and editing.
Are you recording this
Oh, yeah.
video? Because you can't see my face
No,
right now.
we've had that before with Joe Flynn as well. The
Oh,
great
God,
sacred
yeah,
therapist. Will I, or will that break everything?
Just leave it. I'll
no. We'll
I'll
just
be
this
tall.
for the time being.
Yeah, perfect.
Hello, you're okay.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Have you been on many podcasts before?
I have not been on any podcast before.
Really? I thought
Well,
as an
no, you have.
artist, I was sure to be
No, I have been on the radio a few times, but never a podcast.
Canadian radio. Irish
No,
radio.
Irish. All Irish.
Have you made it to Clare FM?
Of course I have.
Oh my
Twice.
Oh, come here.
Celebrity in our midst.
Playing with the big
I was
boys.
extraordinarily delighted when I made the Clare champion with actually a gig that John hosted where I wasn't meant to be at all anyway. Just subbed in, but it was it's funny, how it does the local media. It does mean something.
Well, there's
like,
Oh yeah, we were in the Clare Champion when we first opened, and it was huge. It actually reached way outside of Clare, and when we had the radio interview on Clare FM, that was wonderful because we got an Instagram message from a gentleman who is well into his 80s, late 80s, and he left Clare when he was, I don't know, I think it was in the 50s that he left, lives in the same province in Ontario, where we're from. And he still listens to Clare FM every day. And he heard an interview of a Canadian couple opening a cafe in Clare and wrote us an Instagram message
Unreal.
and said, next time I'm in Clare, I'll come and visit. And sure enough, he walked in with his daughter with a tiny little Canadian flag, waving it.
so you knew who he was.
come on.
Isn't that amazing?
I love, but that's the thing. Like the connection, like we can all be cynical about modern technology and stuff.
Yeah.
But the connection stuff, I love. Like when I was working at a translation agency, I would have people in like fucking Russia and China who knew on Tuesdays Bart is off with his kids. I love that. I love like they would just be like these very exotic names, and they'd be going like, "I know you're off today with Louise, but can you just sort this out?" I love that feeling of connectedness,
Yeah.
and we've really found it with this. Like you get some really funny. Sorry,
I do have to go check on the sausage roll.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, sorry, Nadaa, we put you in an awkward position there.
She's
There's going to be a lot of wrangling. I mean, John is feeding the wrangle. He's feeding the wrangle. Is pushing.
You said something before we started that literally made my blood run cold, which was,
Oh no.
there might be a bit of editing on this one.
Okay, there will be a lot of editing. Sometimes it's kind of good to set a terrible expectation. We were doing we asked someone to dig. Oh, I'm here for the academic part of the philosophy, as you can hear. We asked someone to build. Our builder who did a bit of work at our house. He dug a big hole for our trampoline so it wouldn't blow away in the winter. And then he was like, "Oh, you're never gonna finish that trampoline over the weekend. That's gonna be an 18-hour job." And it was a 5-hour job.
Right.
And 5 hours is quite long to be spending on a trampoline.
Yeah.
But it wasn't an 18-hour job. So, Anthony, you're going to be editing this
For 18 hours.
for 18 hours.
And it'll only be 5.
Yeah.
So,
But it is... I was thinking that's a topic sometime to talk about as well. I love that connection idea of podcasts, of media. Like, there's a whole... Talking about Clare FM, like Nadaa was there. Like, there's a whole... slew of people who tune in for the West Wind,
Yes.
who are in America and in Canada,
Yeah.
and there's a whole Facebook group where they all chat and they're like, "Oh, hi guys, I'm here." It's lovely.
yeah. I remember I was at a Cuivna Von Clár event, and the local DJ musician Dahi, he has got a popular song where he samples his grandmother talking. And I think she's talking about meeting her husband. And she was at this event and they were telling the story of how the song was released and it got quite popular. And I can't remember, it was on,
Yeah.
you know, it was doing very, very well and it was being played all over. And she was just like, have they played it on Clear FM yet? And they were like, no, not yet. And when they played it, that was it. Once it made it to Clear FM, that was the one that mattered, you know, not Late or anything.
It's also like the people who know you will listen to that one.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
So cycles.
Oh, geez. Yeah, bring us back, please. Yeah.
So this feels different.
Yeah.
That's one of the things about cycles, isn't it? You come back to the start and you're not the same anymore. You're like, we'll just go to a cafe like we used to go, and we'll sit down across a table like we used to sit down, and we'll talk shite like we used to chat shite, but there'll be a camera, 3 microphones, 15 cables, a laptop.
And we'll be aware of how loud we are. Yeah.
And how quiet everyone else is. Yeah.
Very good. Well, apart from that, of course.
Blaring the tunes.
Blaring tunes.
Dead right.
Very trebly tunes. But, it's been a fair bit of a ride, I will say.
Yeah.
So this will be the 16th one?
This will be 16, yeah. So 4 weekly uploads for 4 months. Which, I don't know, did you think
even the way you're saying it looks a bit stressful. It's more stressful on you than it is on me, I think, because you're doing all the tech. But it's been amazing.
Yeah.
What has been your favourite bit about it? What has been your favourite unexpected bit about it?
The fact that it kept happening, I think. That was really cool. That was not a given for me. You know, like I
that
thought
there'd be more to say at all.
It
doesn't feel like that at the moment. That there'd be more to say.
No. Tremendously. However long these gaps are, they were 3 times as long live before I edited this.
Yeah.
But just the fact that we were able to keep going. You know, that it's an act of faith sitting down in front of a mic with the broadest kind of, or the vaguest suggestion of a place to go, and to be able to talk. And it's the testing of an idea. Like, we had this idea that this would be something worth chatting about, and this would be something that maybe people would even listen to a little bit. And but you don't know. Like, you don't know that that's what's going to happen. And also there was so much we didn't know when we started, like about tech, about structure, about format, about editing, releasing, you know. There were so many unknowns. So the fact that it happened and kept happening, I think was... Yeah, that's, you know, there's something to be said for something that just hangs around for a while. Like, that's a testament in itself. How about you?
I was just thinking about what you're saying there. It is interesting because it does feel like a bit like a staring into the void kind of thing sometimes.
Yeah.
When you just have the microphone there and you're like, oh, we're back again. Okay, I haven't really slept last night.
Yeah.
You know, I have tonight, but I mean, like, that kind of thing happens and you're like, you're rush off your feet, like, oh, okay, we're going to talk and apparently it's going to be worthwhile. And it isn't always, but it is. It's a great exercise. And it's been amazing. What's been really amazing to me, the thing that I've really, really enjoyed, is just people responding to it. I hadn't really thought about it. Like, there was kind of... I said it to someone, like, what we were kind of thinking about it, and it was kind of nearly negative, you know, or my thinking was nearly negative, like, oh, I'm a bit uptight about my speech. I'd like to be a bit freer, so let's do some recordings of some imperfect speech. I said it to someone there the other day, and she was just like, what? Kind of fucking negative, kind of, can't you just say you want to be a bit freer in your expression or something, you know?
Yeah.
And but I hadn't really counted on the huge positive responses, and that people would pick up on the smallest things where you're like, oh, that's a nothing burger kind of thing, and you go, oh, that really resonated with me, or oh, that's something I'm going through right now, or geez, that same thing just happened to me, and yeah.
Or that's not the Baldwin I was thinking of. I'm going to take this opportunity in the season finale to correct a few things. I think I might just have to, like, start an open Google document of all the names I have fucked up. So going back to the episode of masculinity, I meant Mary Robinson when I said Mary McAleese. I meant James Baldwin when I said Stephen Baldwin.
That
and
was
this
very
that
fun.
was,
That was
that
a
was a
very
rough one.
funny
That was a
one.
difficult one. That was really
the great
bad.
intellect.
Because like people confuse the Baldwin brothers all the time, and that's not great, but it's vaguely understandable. But James Baldwin, the great author and civil rights activist, does not belong in that category at all. I've done you a tremendous disservice there, Mr. Baldwin. I apologise. And this hasn't come out yet, but in Monday's episode, I spent a long time talking about Schopenhauer's contributions to music.
Yeah.
I meant Schonenberg. So I apologise, guys.
Well, it's also, you're taking it on yourself because you're doing all the academic stuff where I'm just like, someone dug a hole in my garden to put a trampoline in. Like, I'm...
But at least you remember your builder's name, Bart.
Yeah, but I don't mention it. Because, I'm not giving him the free advertising, though. I would. Jack Hawkins, get him. He's great. But... no, like, I mean, you do, like, I think our good friend Sonja O Brien, who we're playing tunes with in an hour or so, she said, like, you're clearly the cleverer one of the two. And so you hold yourself to a higher standard, you know.
I don't think that's what she said. I don't think
now,
that's
she
what
said more. She said more academic, and that's true. But, yeah. Yeah, I'm just considering all the gaffes I've made, but I don't think it's worth it. And I think you've clipped all of them and put them on Instagram as well. I did really like the one where I went better the eye than the crotch.
Yeah,
I think that should be like on a little.
Yeah, if we do merch.
Yeah. Weshtern Philosophy, better the eye than the crotch.
If you want to wear Bart on a t-shirt.
And we had the spiritual underwear and all that.
Spiritual underwear was good. Emotional incontinence, I enjoyed that as well.
That's one actually stand over. I
Right.
think that's a good term.
Yeah.
When you just are constantly leaking emotions. When I don't often get drunk anymore, but when I get drunk, I become very emotionally incontinent. I never get like angry or, problematic in that way, but I just go, I love you, man. You're a brother.
I've experienced this.
Really? I think I've done it with you when I was sober. Sure, you're uncomfortable enough with that as it is. We had a very positive little landmark last week that I and Anthony had a big hand in that. I'll leave it private, but I tried to really let him in on how grateful I was feeling.
Yeah,
it's he makes it painful.
Yeah.
Receiving is something that he's yet to learn.
Keep those walls up, man.
You give someone else something by receiving what they're given.
Okay.
Not a merch.
Another t-shirt. All right. So just to pedal swiftly away from this, it's that. Oh God, this is a fairly robust segue, but like it is that old cliche, isn't it, that you can't go home again. If we're dragging this back to cycles, which I will repeatedly do again and again and again.
You will cyclically keep getting us back to
until
the
it
cycles.
clicks. Have you found that, Bart? Like when you go back to Holland to visit, like what's the same, what's different?
Oh yeah. I once did for my master's. I did an interview where we interviewed. I had a bit of a broad master's. It was like philosophy, ethics, and globalization. It was a kind of an odd one. I don't think it exists anymore, but it was very interesting. Like I did it just for myself. I didn't do it. You don't get jobs in that. Like,
There's a few jobs in globalization.
Yeah, but not in that way, not in the philosophical way. And
definitely not in the ethical way.
And we did interviews with people in Galway, immigrants, to see what their experience was. And it was fascinating. And there was one very eloquent French music teacher, and he was like, when I moved to Ireland, I wanted to be more Irish than the Irish. I definitely recognise that. I had a bit of that as well, where you're really trying, you're like, I love this place, I really want to blend in, so I'm just going to, I'm going to know all the colloquialisms, and I don't know if the accent was a conscious part of it, but because I'm not trying to do that anymore, but it's kind of stuck. That's a tool in a way as well. But anyway, before I tangent myself on my tangent, but yeah, there was this French guy who, and he was just like, first I tried that, then he really missed France for a bit, and he tried to go back, but it wasn't the France he left. So it's not even just about me changing, which definitely happened, but also just that country is so different and so quickly, you know. Our good friend Harry Jöke, who has the Lochavala farm very nearby, he's a brilliant dude, who Anthony keeps avoiding. There's a couple of people I'm trying to get you to listen to or meet that you keep avoiding, and Harry is one of them.
Well, to add insult to injury, I did ditch you and go to the farm on my own and had a wee chat with him. But there was a reason I was doing that trip solo, and we could talk about that.
Yeah, maybe let's not. Jeez, Henry.
How are you guys?
Hello. Nice
my
to
God.
see you, dude.
All the celebs are
You have
out.
a story.
I have a story.
Yeah, bring your cuppa over here. Sit down with us. Welcome to the world of podcasting, Henry.
This will be my entrance.
This
Please.
is it.
Please.
This is like when Pamela Anderson was picked out at a football game.
100%. I'm quickly gonna sit down here. I'm gonna quickly finish the story. So he went back to the Netherlands, and he hadn't been for 10 years because he's always on his farm, and he was just like, oh my god. But he doesn't have a smartphone, so nothing worked for him. But he had his son with him, and then he made sure that he was able to return within 30 hours. He just had something to do. He came back. He landed around midnight in Dublin, drove back. He was home at 4, and then at 6 he was back working on the farm. He's 72. He's a legend. But he was just like, yeah, he didn't recognize that country at all. He sounds very Dutch. You know, when you meet him, he sounds very Dutch.
Yes,
but he
absolutely.
Can't come back. Right.
Henry,
Thanks for sitting in.
have you ever listened to our podcast?
No.
Okay, well, you have
To be
now.
honest with you. So,
Oh, better to be honest, 100%.
I've only really followed you guys on Instagram in the last week.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah, and likewise, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're proper friends now.
it's
What's your surname again?
Ward?
We sound like proper friends.
Well, listen, I actually don't know many. What's Nada's surname?
Hyder.
Is that? Is
Oh,
that
I don't
her
know
maiden
Nolan.
name or
I
is
don't
that
know.
her
I don't know
Nolan?
Nolan's
Oh,
surname.
God,
So
well,
yeah.
anyway, thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, of course, guys. yeah.
Thanks for being forced onto the pod. So
Oh, yeah,
welcome to show business.
Yeah, so we know Henry from being an awesome part of the team who run Pot Dubbins, where we have our Sunday sessions. And I will say, this is an awkward angle to be looking at you.
Yeah.
Will this work actually, or will that be?
Yeah,
if
you're
I
fine.
take it?
Yeah.
But
That's very karaoke. I love it.
I know, yeah, we're going to be singing in a bit as well. But I will say, since your arrival,
No, don't do that. Don't
don't
point to
point.
the mic.
Since your arrival, it's great. Everything's running
Do you think
very
so?
much more smoothly
In pots.
than it used to since Jack arrived and you arrived and the rest of the
yeah.
gang, Rhiannon and Jake.
I've kind of got that from a lot of customers, like, you know, saying like that pots is just a good bit better this year,
Yeah.
and Jack feels that he definitely has a handle on it, like, you know.
Good.
So
Would you sit a tiny bit closer, Henry?
Sorry, the
about
mic,
that,
the
man.
mic.
You have to take
Levels.
the dead kitten in your mouth,
Yeah.
as they say, as we podcasters.
As they say in the business.
Oh, and it's not to be down on anyone who was there before, because it was always a great place, but it was just always a kind of a capacity issue where people are like, oh, we love the vibes, we love the tunes, but I don't want to wait 30 minutes for a pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
And now it's
very true.
flying, and the food is great.
yeah, all we can do is just try our best, like, you know. So, and even the other guys in our team, like, are just great. They're just jumping in and they're putting in
All
the
the
hours,
staff are
like, you
deadly.
know, 'cause
Yeah.
all of us have a love for the place.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you can see that it has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just a great little part of Ennistimon as well.
feckin'
you know,
is. It's
like,
brilliant.
especially that Riverside Beer Garden is probably my favourite place.
Yeah.
You know, and I've only gotten time to spend probably one evening down there and actually enjoying a pint
Yeah.
for myself.
Oh, but God, that's it in the evening when the the setting sun is coming in across the water. It's unbelievable.
incredible.
Yeah, we're doing a good bit of PR for Morning Dew, Pot Duggins, all
Well,
the Clare
well,
places,
well,
but
Yeah.
it is awesome though. Like, I had a Dutch friend visiting for the session, or she didn't visit for the session, but she was there for the session at the Riverside, and she's like, I think this is the nicest place I've ever sat and had a pint. You know, it's so gorgeous, and we had the apple trees in blossom. Hey, but listen, because we didn't just want to talk about your work.
No.
Are you from Dublin, Henry?
No, I'm not. I may have a bit of a Dublin twang.
Yeah.
My parents are from Dublin and moved out to West Wicklow.
Right.
So I'm kind of Blessington area.
Yeah.
Okay.
And around the lakes down there. So a lake in the front of the house and then the Wicklow Mountains up the back.
And how long
Sounds
have you been
rough.
in Clare? Yes, sounds rough.
It does.
Don't take away from him
We had to
his
drive
hard-fought
15
route.
minutes to our nearest sliced pan, like, you know. So it's real country.
Yeah.
But still, an amazing little village. Like, you know, I'm very proud and privileged to
Nice
have
one.
grown up there. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Go on.
So
Yeah, when did you move to Clare?
I moved August last year.
Yeah.
So my partner moved up here in May last year after getting a job in her career as an ecologist. So I
Cool.
was away for most of the year traveling. So when I did come back August, I was like, am I staying with the parents again? Absolutely
Yeah.
not. So I just said, right, I'm coming up to you. So we moved in with friends of ours in a little tiny 2-bed cottage in between Kilfenor and Listonvarna up the back of a mountain.
nice one.
It was lovely, but like there was more grass than tarmac on the road.
Yeah.
And that was good fun
Yeah.
for a couple of months, and then we finally got our own little place here in Corfin,
Savage.
and we're absolutely loving it.
Jesus, fuck, I didn't know we were
I know.
neighbours.
Yeah, I walked up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
I'm
dude.
down in Boncoil.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I was walking there this morning.
Oh, were you?
Because I sorry. This is going to be the most local epic podcast ever.
I am just slightly
local.
conscious of people that live more than 11 kilometres
Hello,
away that
everyone.
might not be following
Just gonna
this.
have to visit Clare, aren't they, to really understand?
I was literally going, this cottage that Henry speaks of.
Yeah, what's your area
I've just
code,
got to
Henry?
pinpoint
Yeah.
it right now.
No.
Because I was walking. The funny thing is, like, so we moved to. It's just going to
Yeah.
fucking happen, Anthony. And you're going to do the editing, and it's going to be fine.
This is all just
yeah,
okay.
it's fine.
I am going to step in here with a slight veto to drag things back.
Cool.
So Henry,
Yes.
the podcast is called Weshtern Philosophy, and the idea is that we take a topic and we just talk about it. So the idea is it's more about the topic than the guests,
Yeah.
and it's anything unseen that influences our day-to-day lives. So we've done things about place, boundaries, masculinity, failure, rest, expression, all these kind of things.
Okay.
Is there a topic you'd be interested in chatting about for 10 minutes, Henry?
I'm feeling very mutinous. I just want to express that. Go on.
Oh, I can feel it off you.
Yeah.
Radiating.
I thought I better just say it so I can park it. Right. Carry on.
Well, we can chat on Sunday.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get off early. We
Yeah.
can have a
Exactly.
pint together.
Go down to the beer garden,
Yeah.
Riverside.
A topic? No.
Is there anything big in your life?
Big in my life? What's big in my life right now? That feels like it's a bit loaded.
That's also
Oh, you
pretty
don't have to.
personal.
You make it as personal as you want. Like, I mean, I even just the fact that you've moved down here less than a year ago.
Less than a year ago. It was quite a big jump, but I was really excited for it because I had just come back from a big trip sailing, and then to come back to my partner was kind of the big driver, to actually kind of get back to her after spending 6 months away. So
You were
it was-
sailing for 6 months?
I was, yes. So I got the opportunity to crew on a boat from St. Lucia in Colombia, and I managed to get as far as Fiji in 6 months.
Right. I've been to
So-
St. Lucia. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Green
we started
island.
in
Yeah.
Rodney Bay, up the very
Right.
north.
Okay.
From there on to Santa Marta in Colombia.
No way.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
got the opportunity last year, just through clients that I had while I was working as a kayaking guide
Right.
in Blessington, and I found out that her husband was looking for crew, so I decided.
That's
absolutely.
awesome, dude.
It is.
You already look like the
I'm a
Viking
little
as well.
bit too far away.
Bump this up a small bit.
Okay.
So what attracts you to sailing, Henry?
The attraction to sailing would be the water.
Right.
I have always had a love for water, and I think that would have been my parents from a very, very young age putting that into me, because they were windsurfers, still
Right.
are windsurfers.
Okay.
So probably one of the first memories I have is sitting in Greece in my buggy, looking out at my dad and all his friends around their surfboards and stuff
Again, sounds rough, but
Yeah, it does. Gypsy lifestyle.
but that is amazing.
Yeah, so and then I got into the sailing. I'd done kayaking for years.
Right.
From about 10 years old, there was a local kayaking club, and I just spent every waking hour down there, and then especially with the lake in front of our house as well, like it was just opportune.
But it's like specifically sailing,
Mm.
like I presume it just would not have been the same experience on a motorboat.
No,
Right.
no,
Yeah,
no. So with the sailing, and especially the ocean sailing, which I had never done before this
Right.
trip, so I was taking a big leap, and the captain and owner of this boat was taking a big chance on me because I had zero to no experience. Just kind of, here's two hands, what do you want me to do with them?
Right.
Kind of approach to it, like, and you could kind of see that I was eager to do this. And I met him one day and he just goes, have you got these courses done? I'm like, no. I have my dinghy sailing and a powerboat course, and I really have my kayaking and stuff like that. He goes, right,
But I
okay.
am willing.
Yeah.
I am willing. He goes, right, well, if you can get these done in the next 2 months, come back to me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went, got them done, took a lump out of my savings in the credit union to pay for these courses, and I was like, right, I'm dead set on doing this.
Right.
And I had the support from my partner as well, like, who'd just finished a master's, and she was like, look, you've helped me through my master's, this is for you now, you do this.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It was really, really nice, and that's what kind of drove me to really go and do it. But it was a big jump, a big leap of faith into it. And he took the chance on me, got the courses done, and he was like, right, okay, how long can you kind of come out with me? Like, how long are you available for it? And I says, well, how long are you going for? And he goes, oh, well, hopefully 6 to 8 months. Like, and I was like, sign me up, let's go, So it was incredible, the trip. Like,
it's like you're literally moving the boat through like knowledge and your own muscles, right? Like you are like
exactly.
physically hauling sails
and
around, reading the weather, reading the waters.
There's a lot of that. Like, So that was all completely alien to me. Bar, like, I had some basic knowledge of like your wind direction, weather, and all that, your surf. But like, I have always worked on lakes and rivers, so I know my rivers very well. I can read them like a book, but then looking at oceans, like, they're a different beast altogether.
Was it scary? 'Cause I can imagine. Like, I just have this image of like a little. Well,
Dinky.
it probably wasn't a small boat, but
no.
I mean, or ship. But
It was a 45-foot catamaran,
Yeah.
so like twin engine on it, but we rarely use those just to get in and out of marinas and
Yeah.
stuff. Or if there was no wind, we'd just stick the engines on and take along. But where am I going with my point now?
But just I was
You
wondering
asked,
if it's scary because like
yes.
so much bigger waves and
Yeah, so I kind of leaving St. Lucia on the very first day, so my first actually ocean passage. Nerves were a little bit tense, but it was more so the adrenaline from the excitement because we were doing this trip with like 40 other yachts.
Okay.
So we all started together on a big start line outside Rodney Bay in St.
Oh my
Lucia.
God.
And the horn went, and we managed to get pole position because we had a couple of old ocean racers as crew on our boat.
Yeah.
And we got right out in front. We weren't the fastest boat, like, not by a mile. So we were like, we're in first, we're going to get... And then all the big boats just went by, and we're like... I just got the GoPro out and started recording everything, like, and I had brought the GoPro with me, like, to record and document this whole entire trip. I'd say I used the GoPro for about 2 weeks, and then I went, I can't be experiencing this through my phone, editing all these videos and stuff. I just put the camera away and experience it, like, so I've loads of footage for the first month, up until about the Panama Canal, and then I just went,
Did you go through the Panama Canal?
twice.
Right.
Yeah. So
Forgot your keys and had to go back. Or,
with the 40 other boats, like, we were a part of a rally.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you needed 5 crew members on your boat to go through the canals. It was obviously safety and lines and stuff. So there was an Italian boat, gorgeous trimaran, and the couple owning it were really, really nice. I got along with the captain who they had hired, and so I went back with them and gone through the Panama Canal on Gatun Lake, and you just have bruschetta just being passed up the deck, aren't you? And then there's a little bottle of vino as well.
actually he's just gonna do his catchphrase again for
What's that?
It was very hard.
Oh, is that? Yeah, it sounds rough.
Yeah, it's very rough. Very rough. Like,
I've been through in a very different context to you, but I've gone through the Panama Canal as well. I used to work on cruise ships, and so there's a class of ship called Panamax, because it's literally as big as you can be,
big as the Panamax,
as to fit through the
original canal,
Panama,
isn't it?
Yeah, not the expansion.
No.
And the Panama Canal is an amazing story. It led to the foundation of Panama. Like the U.S. government wanted. Now I hope I have my history right, but they wanted the canal, so they backed the Colombian rebels and said they'd support them in the foundation of a new state if they built this canal.
Yeah.
But the Panamax ships, like you're like, okay, it's big enough to fit through the canal.
It's
just big enough. Like there's feet of like clearance on either side. And I remember, I the ship I was on, the Holland America Westerdam, the staff captain was from Castletown Bear.
Jeez.
And so the way it works is you've got the bridge, and at the very edge of the bridge you've got two wings coming out over the ship with glass floors. So you look straight down the side of the hull, right? And that's for things like going through the Panama Canal. So you've got the captain on one side, you've got the staff captain on the other side. They're each steering. And I went out on deck, and we were above the bridge looking down, and I just remember seeing staff captain Noel driving 80,000 tons of ship through this tiny narrow passage. And the way he was doing it, he had one hand in his pocket, and he had one hand, he was just looking over his shoulder, and I swear to God, he looked like a farmer reversing a tractor.
I had that image in my head. He's just sitting there, we'll get it in there, no bother,
Should be grand. And he said afterwards that the one captain who taught him how to do it was like, if you have two hands, you'll do too much. You'll start overcorrecting and things. So he's like, just put one away. And but it's extraordinary.
Yeah. I was given that bit of advice on the boat as well. Like, he's just like, we're on the helm, and he got me to try and get into a marina, and he's like, you're doing too much. And he's just one hand. And then you can actually feel it's a lot slower, more controlled, even though you're going to one hand. Like it's there's little bits of advice, like from people who are very seasoned and experienced. Like,
and I remember you talked about going out on the ocean. And I remember like when the cruise ship pulls out, you're like, okay, the water, you feel the water. Even on the big ships, you feel the water. And then all of a sudden you get out a couple of miles and the water starts to feel different. And like I've done a transatlantic crossing as well, and you're like, you feel it. You in your body feel the distance from safety and civilization. You feel things get rockier, the elements get more present.
Yeah, like it didn't for me. I didn't feel the isolation or kind of. I definitely felt 100% safe on the boat, even though like it was not even 15 meters long.
Right.
And you could hear the boat creak, groan, and everything, and then the ocean swell like hitting up against the boat and slapping the hull as well. Like, but like never been totally scared on the boat. Like we had one night where we were going from St. Lucia to Colombia. And we had a rogue wave hit the fleet.
Those things are terrifying.
It had turned a couple of boats. Now, not capsized, but what it had done is it had picked them up so much, they'd start to surf, and then it just flicked them around.
Okay.
With us, our kind of average speed was like 8-9 knots. It's not a fast boat at all. Some of the other guys were doing 12. But we got picked up, and we done 25 knots down the face of this wave.
So much faster than you usually do.
I was in bed just after coming off my watch.
This
is at 3 a.m. in the morning, pitch black, because the sun around the equator is like 6 to 6. Like we have no daylight savings down there, and so like 3 in the morning, it was rough enough that night, and I had a bit of a diary with me. I said, I'll start journalism. So I'm writing in my bed, like, bit of a rough night tonight. And as I hit my period on that, like, I just feel the boat go. And I get thrown from one side of my bed to the other. And I went, right, okay, I'm going to get the seatbelt out from underneath the mattress tonight. Tie it onto me here.
Slept soundly.
Like this. Of
course, seatbelt, Jesus. And now you have those at home as well.
On the bed?
After a late shift in Potts, you might.
But that must have been a weird, because you didn't only just move from Blessington to Clare, but you did all that You went away with a group of people and in a
Who I'd
completely different
never met.
environment.
Yeah.
And probably no internet and all that stuff.
No, very limited. Like you know,
so
we
very
did
different
have
life, and then
yeah.
coming back to your partner. How was like? Did you miss
Integration.
the ship, or did you
Yes.
like?
Yes, I missed the life, the whole thing, because there was some really hard parts to it. Like, you know, like we lost our steering system 5 days away from the nearest landmass. This was across our Pacific crossing from the Galapagos Islands to French Polynesia, which took us 21 days.
Yeah.
Lost our steering. That was a bit of a tense moment. So it's like we got that fixed or whatever. But and then coming back to Ireland after finishing, it was nice because I kind of integrated myself back in to my family and my partner. With my father got an opportunity to come out on the boat. We were short for crew, and before I left for the trip, my father kind of nudged me and went, if there's any spots for crew, give us a shout, like, you know. And I was like, funny. And then Captain, the owner, turns around and he goes, would you know anyone that would really appreciate this trip? No, I don't want someone just to work the boat. I want someone who will actually gain something from this. And says, hold on, let me ring the O-lad. Yeah. My O-lad's freelance Blockler. You know, so I rang him. How are you? What's your calendar looking like? And he goes, where am I flying to? He says, the calendar has just cleared of it. Yeah, he's like, where am I going? I said, we fly out to Tahiti. And he goes, to where? Tahiti.
Is that Mana?
Where's that? He's travelled now, but like he wouldn't know that side. And so when he flew out, met him in the airport, and it was tears, like, you know. And my father is a hard man. You know, like from North Inner City Dublin, like shows very little emotion. The two of us just broke down, you know. And then to spend Father's Day with him.
Oh, no way.
You know.
Stop. What a gift, man.
Oh, yeah. And we're out, like, sailing around Bora Bora, Niue, Tonga. You know, and then coming into Fiji then at the end, like, you know, 6 weeks on the boat, 2,000 nautical miles with my father. To then fly down to Australia, see more family. See some of his family that he hadn't seen since the 80s.
No way.
You know, so he just turned into a 21-year-old when we went to Australia then, like, you know, seeing his auntie and his cousins down there as well. Like, so that was nice because I had a part of my family then beside me, even though I was completely comfortable on the boat by then, you know, and it was like part of this boat. To then come home then with the two of us walking back to Dublin Airport, with my mother there greeting my father and me, and then my partner there greeting me, you know, and had a big banner as well. You know?
That's a gorgeous story, Henry.
Yeah, it was really nice. Like, but the banner was the best thing because my partner's sister's a graphic designer, and she'd done up this huge banner, and with me, my hair was down past here.
Oh, I'm sure. You look like a wild man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was really long. I had it all over here, and I'd shaved the beard off while I was away as well. Like, so there was. Barefaced. My partner told me not to come home ever like that. Grow a beard, like, you know. Thank God it was 6 months away, but to come back and they had my head superimposed on a mermaid's. King Neptune, welcome home, like, you know. And I'm walking out, and all the while, me and my father thought it'd be a great joke to wear a Fijian traditional dress. It's called a suva.
Yeah, what's that
which is like the men's. It's basically like a long skirt, like a Catholic girl skirt, right? But not check or plaid, just a black one, like, you know. So there's all the guys in Fiji were wearing them with their lovely shirts and everything. So we decided we'd walk through arrivals, Dublin Airport, and flip flops, a long skirt.
I imagine it landed a bit differently.
It was very cold. Jeez. But it was great, you know.
Sipping a pint of Guinness with your life.
But it's been great to then come back and then. Completely, I still feel like I'm traveling because I've done the big jump from Wicklow over to Clare now, you know, so I'm still experiencing new things. I'm not back into the same circles or back into the same routines that I was in Wicklow. So this has just been like positive on top of positive on top of positive, like, you know. And when they say West is the best, like, I well believe it now. It's just like Clare is amazing, absolutely love it. Like, you know, I can see that there's so much opportunity here for people my age. You know, because, like, I feel like I'm always going to be renting. I'm never going to be able to pick the house for ourselves or something, like, you know, be able to build. But Clare has given me that spark now to say, well, do you know what? It is possible around here.
Yeah.
People are doing it,
And people
You know
are
what I
doing
mean?
it in very different ways as well.
which I love.
Like there's very off-griddy kind of things, like
I wouldn't-
people taking small. No, but I mean like, or taking like small spaces and all that crack. Are you?
You guys carry on.
Oh, sorry. But geez, that's a gorgeous story, Henry.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks
No
for
worries.
dropping that in. Are we going to wrangle Sonja as well, Anthony? Because she's early, so we'll.
There's boat leaving for Panama.
Listen, John, you already gave us a lot with your episode, so you're fine. You're absolutely fine. But it's lovely to see you.
That's a great story, by the way.
Thank you.
No, and well told as well. I love that.
Yeah.
I
Love
try.
it. You kind of put me in mind. There was a guy on the Tommy Tiernan show once who. What was the story now? Did you know, like he took the fire. He wanted to bring the fire to Ishnok or something. What was the? He wanted to kind of bring fire from Iceland to the centre of Ireland, and he just he looks a bit like you as well.
Okay.
You're a bit more handsome, I will say, when you look
Thank
up.
you.
But like the Viking look.
Yeah.
And he had that same kind of like adventure, adventure. But I
Yeah.
love how Dad came in there as well, and a beautiful thing for your partner as well to go.
Yeah.
I really appreciate.
Yeah.
the
That
support
was
you've
that was
given
the
me.
biggest thing out of the whole trip itself. Like it's not permission. Like it's to say
I would love for you to have. This.
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is for you. Do this. Like and even though it was a struggle
Thanks, dude.
sometimes
Thanks, John.
because she also uprooted her whole life and moved to Clare without me being there beside her. Like we really do depend on each other a lot. Like and we support each other and try and hold each other up. So that was hard for her. Like she passed her driving test while I was away. She moved out to Clare.
Jesus
She's
fucking-
driving up and down the motorways, up and down the Wicklow every time.
Yeah,
So she grew a lot
Yeah.
while I was away, as well as I did. Like so it's
We
it's
have
just
a
incredible.
we have a soft theme for today's podcast, which is cycles, and you've nailed it. Thank
Yeah,
you,
that's-
Henry.
Well, much more than we were.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna see if I can
Wrangle another
there.
guest. Yeah. That's deadly.
Yeah, it was good fun. Opportunity of a lifetime, and I
Yeah.
just couldn't let it go.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I packed up our house, we packed up everything. Like she moved back up to her mother's, and our whole life was packed up.
Yeah.
I packed in the job and everything, and just have to do this.
Yeah. And isn't it funny when you come home how different things feel as well?
Yes and no. I felt
Yeah.
like nothing had changed, kind of at home and in the local area.
Yeah.
Like where I'm from, Ballynockin, like is a beautiful little village, but
Right.
like nothing changes really. Like absolutely nothing. So it's
Yeah.
you just gotta.
But
keep,
that's the mad thing about yeah, there are those things that persist, and there are those things that change. Like me and Bart, there's that line, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and
again.
expecting a different result. I actually think the opposite. I think insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same result,
Okay.
because something is always changing.
Yeah.
I kind of have this philosophy of constant change, whereas like there is this other way of looking at things, which is that things are the same until an outside force acts on them to change them.
Yeah. Something to think on.
Yeah.
But for me, anyway, I'll let Sonia sit in.
Are we?
I've wrangled her.
Very good. Henry,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Guys, thank you very much.
Enjoy your bun, which you must have been looking at and salivating over for the
This is my breakfast. I got out of bed especially just to come up to see you guys.
No, but that was
Now,
awesome, dude.
do you ever see a barman up this early? Like,
No.
That's a real question.
No, but I love
Thanks
that,
a million,
dude.
guys.
Thanks so much, and we'll
chat again.
catch you on Sunday, 100%. But I love the fact that you're so close by. I know Anthony doesn't want me to talk about it, but I was walking out your way this morning, and it's gorgeous over there. Jesus.
Thanks, yeah. I'm just the little white one there, a couple of doors down.
Yeah, I'll find it. Yeah. All right. Well, I've wrangled Sonia on the express promise that if she's shite, we cut her out.
Sure, of course.
She's nervous about it, but I was
Yeah.
kind of saying, actually, that's good because we are very nervous as well.
We are getting through, Bart. But sure, if you're not a bit afraid, you're probably not doing anything of value.
No, that's it. And yeah.
We're hardly circumnavigating the earth on a fucking twin-holed
Ah,
catamaran.
Henry,
either.
he delivered it there. Jesus Christ. that's gorgeous.
There's levels to challenges.
You have a lot of like adventures like that as well, though. Like when people mention something, you're like, "Oh, yeah, I was there. I was doing this thing." I'm like, "Oh, Jesus!"
Just
where did this
desperate
guy
to be
go?"
included. Me.
No, not at all.
I've been
But
to
it's
St.
kind of
Lucia.
like you have done a lot of. Yeah, we've another friend like that who you know as well, who just I won't name her now, but she's always like, "Oh, when I lived in New York, when I lived in San Francisco, when I was in Amsterdam, when I was in Greece," I was like, "Yeah, cool."
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm well traveled, but apparently not really. No.
I don't know what it is, a lack of focus or something, or too easily bored, but yeah.
Way to make it fucking negative. There she is.
Hello, Sonja. We have a chair for you here.
Yeah, she's trying to get out of it.
I'd like to have a seat.
Right, I would like to introduce, and I already said on mic that if this stays in, then you're very brave, because otherwise we can always cut it out. But this is our very good friend Sonja O Brien, who is
Welcome, Sonja.
a fiddle player extraordinaire, who is a really good friend, who is a wonderful... She's actually my Reiki master, so I have to call her Master. And she's a little bit nervous, but she's one of the most wonderful and interesting people I know. And my kids are also very fond of her. I think that's the highest praise I can give you.
Yes, actually, your kids are very discerning. Yes.
They are, yeah. Right. Speak into the thing now.
Hello.
Hello, Sonja.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I hate this. I so hate it.
That's a great start.
But we can cut it all out.
We can cut it all out, and we can also just work through for now.
Yeah.
The good news is, in about half an hour, we'll be playing tunes, and it'll be blissful. That's where we all feel at home.
Yeah.
Like, we're a bit nervous about this as well. Like, usually we do this in an enclosed, bunker underground somewhere, and now it's like it's open to the elements. But
the previous victim is he's still alive.
He's still alive. He seems fairly cheerful as well, and he doesn't go to
He's
bed
only cheerful
until
because he's eating his bun.
4 in the morning. So yeah, exactly. But Sonja, you came here in Clare or Ireland 40
something like 40 years ago.
40 years ago, speaking to the dead kitten.
40 years ago. 40 years ago.
40
years ago. Oh, I hate my voice. Is that normal?
Yes, it's very
Everybody,
normal.
does everybody hate their own
Yeah,
voice?
we've had guests on who delivered amazing episodes, and they aren't able to listen back to them.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm not going to listen back to this.
No.
If we're not going to cut it out.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
just a gift.
Oh, it's all getting cut.
It's just a gift to us.
Yeah.
But one of the things I love about our friendship, Sonja, is that we can always be very straight with each other. So that's a great thing. Like, I love that. Especially, I don't even think it's language, it's more the connection. But I love, like, when we're in a session or something and something's going fucking wrong, we just go, oh jezus, dat gaat echt verschrikkelijk. And that I love
when
all
you
that.
guys switch to Dutch, I know something.
Yeah. You're like, we'll tell you in a bit, Anthony.
Especially with all the
All the yeah.
But yeah, we're
Sounds bad.
Dutch. I think Dutch are more upfront like that. We just say what it is like.
Yeah.
The Irish are a bit, they want to please you, I think. That's my feeling, I guess.
Yes, it is a bit of Dutch clarity is
because we
helpful.
don't, I think we're very often mistaken for being rude, but I don't think it has anything to do with rude. We're just, that's it. This is how it is. We tell each other.
direct.
We're
Yeah.
direct.
It's very funny. I find it a difference. Like,
Oh,
and I value both sides, because I do think the Irish are much kinder to strangers. That's kind of the other.
Oh,
that's the
definitely.
thing that I love being here. But the directness can. I think a hybrid is good. I think that's one of the reasons that Clare is a good place to live, is because there's a lot of these hybrids. But anyway, you came here for the Willie Clancy.
That's it. 40 years ago, I came. I used to play a little bit of Irish in Holland for about 2 years. So that means I'm already playing for 42 years. Oh, my God.
You look very young, though.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
Seriously, though, like, you
43.
are the person who I get the most kind of, what would you call this now, sneaky requests after gigs. So people are like, is Sonja single?
Really? You never tell me any of those.
No, I'm trying to keep you. I will only
wants
let
to
the
offer
good. I will
himself,
only let
Sonia.
the good.
I'm single.
Oh, God.
Hello, I'm single. I'm 167, I think. And
This
And
is now a dating podcast.
yeah. Looking for a man, nice eyes, friendly, lovely eyes.
Okay.
Sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
If they're a musician, that's pro.
What if they're a bad musician?
Oh no,
that's
no,
okay.
Good
no,
question.
no! I couldn't do bad musicians. No.
Well, you would just say it to them, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, I would just say should. Oh, I can't say.
Oh, you
Oh,
can't
no, you
say
can't.
everything
Shut the
on
fuck
this.
up.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Right, so that'll be the clip. Even if you don't listen to anything, that's going to be my
We'll just
ringtone.
we'll just keep that in, you know. Sonia, is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Don't ask that. She doesn't want to be here. We're
No, I
forcing
don't want
her.
to be here. I don't
Would you
even
like
know.
to speak on the topic of discomfort, Sonia? Or
Oh
maybe,
yeah. I feel very discomforted now.
Do you think there's value in discomfort?
There's value in any emotion, really, isn't there? It makes you feel alive.
And you're very good at it because you introduce it. Like we always call Sonia an agent of chaos,
Yeah.
and we completely understand what that means.
Yeah,
I
it's a very
don't
positive
But
I
thing.
don't
Sonia's always
understand.
like, "Why do you call me that?
Yeah, why do you
think
call
I'm
me-"
not nice?" Like you've said that so many times, and I'm like, "No, you just embrace a bit of chaotic energy."
And it is slightly, you don't let us get comfortable when we're playing with you.
Really?
You
Yeah.
will
Oh my
always,
God,
you're
I'm
like,
sorry.
You have an amazing ability to know exactly where somebody's level is and to push them about 10% beyond that.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
this next one's in G minor. And I'm like, what? Who the fuck writes a jig in G minor? Like,
Or just like last week, you picked up a cello, and like there was so many. It was
Oh,
such a
God.
busy. Like the place was full. It was so busy, and I was like, "We need to deliver." Like I'm there going, "We need to deliver for these people," you know. And you were just like, "Oh, I can learn the cello," and you are a fucking fantastic fiddle player. Fucking fantastic fiddle player. That's nice alliteration.
Yeah,
but
but
the
the
cello was a
cello-
bit different, and it was just like.
But it was a
and I was
kid's-
like, "Oh, she's going to do this for a minute."
In my
No, I
defense,
don't.
it
You
was
don't
a
want to
kid's-
talk now.
it
You
was a
can't talk.
kid's cello. And I wanted to play, is it Sanson?
Yeah.
La 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 la. It's beautiful, the cello. But yeah, I didn't come across okay.
It was just, but you would just, it was like the wailing of whales, and she just kept doing it for 7 minutes, and I was like, yeah, can we get back? But that's what you do, like, or we've had great gigs in Doolin where I'm like, huh, I'm really cool, this is really working, and you're like, you're a bit too comfortable. I'm just going to play something that you can't really play.
Here's something in 7/4
Yeah.
or 7/8. Is
Oh,
it?
yeah, yeah.
7/8 is the one
7/8, yeah.
that's fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Or when you break a string, that's your big,
Bart's
I
party
hate it.
piece.
yeah.
Oh, I hate it so much. I've literally gone through about 6 packs of strings this year.
Yeah, but I think there's the extra fear that I'm going to talk about you. When you break string, like we did in
I
Oh,
don't
that's
know what
right.
you
Yeah, Sonia is also a very gifted improviser, and when Bart broke a string,
Anthony
in-
was here for that,
in
which was
Doolin-
really
were you there in
nice.
Doolin?
Yeah.
Not only was I there, we had visitors down from Dublin who thought you were telling the truth.
Okay, maybe you tell the story because she's
So
she's
Bart
not
broke
gonna,
a string, had to
never-
replay it, and Bart was playing with Sonja O Brien and Christy Lee. And
Lovely player.
Yeah, amazing harmonica player. Every multi-instrumental. Christy's unreal. But while Bart is changing his strings, Sonia starts telling a story about how Bart, first of all, she said she was his mum and Christy was his dad and Bart was their son, and that he learned, he was a very challenging child, and that's how he ended up in prison after he got on the drugs. And telling this to a crowded bar full of people, and our friends from Dublin were sat next to us going, God, she's revealing an awful lot of private stuff.
And I was just there sitting there pouring sweat going because actually the part you left out is that I'd already broken a string because the first time you said, I'm so sick of you breaking strings, I'm just going to keep playing, and I accidentally put like a wrong gauge string. I put like an A string on the D part or something. So obviously it broke straight away because it isn't made for that. So that was the first time, and then the second one was the stand-up comedy, and it was very funny.
So,
yeah.
Sonia, why put Bart through that discomfort? Where is the value?
So, and why is this not just my taking revenge?
Oh yeah, this is probably a revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're even now. This is it.
Well,
we're
listen.
even now. Why? Maybe it's a teacher in me. I've been teaching for 30 years, and that's what I love doing, to challenge people. And it's funny that you said that, you know, to get people to their topmost level and then push them 10% more
Yes.
or 2% more or whatever more.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
Definitely more. Yeah.
try to get them to be better.
You're
Little-
really
little
good. With,
bit
you're
better.
really good with it because, like,
Yeah, I like
I
that.
find it so hard to get my daughter Louise to practice the concertina.
Oh, yeah.
And you're so good just to go, fucking, come on, you know. But and you don't, obviously, you don't swear.
But you have to tell her. That
yeah, I'm going to
she-
tell.
yeah.
Well, because what Sonja made this week, I've actually been showing it to everyone. Would you mind if we put it up on the Instagram? Well, I'll talk to you after.
Yeah,
But I
you
think
can
we
do
can.
that, yeah.
But Sonja is a beautiful visual artist as well, like beautiful paintings and stuff. And she made like an advent calendar for Louise for practicing concertina. So
Okay.
it's like if she puts in 5 minutes here, then she gets a little token, and if she has 7 tokens,
my
and,
God, that's
and it's
brilliant.
like a beautiful work of art. It really is. Like I was like when we opened the doors, I'm like, we have to be careful because it's gorgeous. And usually Louise has concertina practice once a week, and she's actually deadly at it. She's really good at it,
She
especially
is. She is very
considering
good at
how short time she's been doing it. But she, Nada just gave the thumbs up. I think more to Sonja than to us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, to me, like-
But she's really good at it, but it's hard to get her to practice. And I don't want to be down on her as well. I don't want to make it into a negative thing. But usually I'm glad if I can get her to practice 5 minutes a week. Yesterday, she did 45 minutes.
No way.
Because of the calendar.
Yeah,
And
it's
Sammy,
great.
our little boy, he was just there watching the clock going, yeah, another 3 minutes. Yeah, because we've included him on the rewards as
Good.
well. Because
Yeah,
otherwise it's a
yeah. I
bit-
was hoping you were going to do that.
yeah, but it's so cool, and I showed it to people in. I was playing in Kenny's in Lahinch Wednesday, and I showed it to people there, even just randomers, and everyone was just like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" So
Good.
Yeah, I like what you said about. Well, you said. Do you say emotions can be a great teacher? Like discomfort itself can be a good teacher. Do you think, Sonja?
Yeah. Well, yeah, not too much discomfort, but a little bit of discomfort.
Yeah.
But I was teaching somebody once, and he was from Holland. Can I say that? Maybe we can cut that out, that he was from Holland. He
Sure.
was from Holland.
Yeah,
He
no
was from somewhere.
Cool. He was from.
how anonymous do you think this needs to be? There's 17 million people in
Oh,
that
yeah,
country.
that's all right. Well, anyway, he was a player.
Of industry. Okay.
Anyway, but he was so nervous, and he had all these folders with him with music in it, but he could never pick up a tune properly. And so I sort of pushed him, and eventually I said, well, go and stand in front of the window, look out of the window at the rushes in the wind. And so he did that, and I was busy with the rest of the class. And then I turned around to him, and there he was crying. So, and he says, it's not working. And I said, okay, what you do now is you take... and he said, why is this? And then he had a story about when he was very young. He was in school, and he was in this choir in school, and his teacher had said to him, don't sing, just open your mouth and stand at the back.
Yeah.
And that was still hurting him so much. So I said, what you do is you take your teacher by the hand, you go on the land, we had 50 acres of land, find a really nice spot, and then dig a hole, put your teacher in it, and jump up and down on top of your teacher. And so, he had nothing else to do, so that's what he did.
Yeah.
So he went away, and then he came back, and he picked up a tune just like that. And he done that, and it was sort of something happened there. So he was very uncomfortable, and I made him very uncomfortable, but something good came out of that.
I think it's like you said, it's about not being too uncomfortable. Because I think sometimes discomfort points you towards...
Yeah.
It's like a signpost.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if I'm really uncomfortable about this, it means I need to look at it.
Yeah.
But then too much discomfort is almost painful. And
Yeah,
that's not
that'd
no
be
good.
debilitating. You would freeze, I think.
No, but well, it's interesting because it is a role you play quite naturally, I think, for people though, like the teacher and also the healer, in a way. Like Yeah, you've done a fair bit of that for our family as well.
So the man has to have nice eyes, as I said, and friendly. I mean, you're saying so many nice things about me. I have to take advantage of this.
Do you care about height, Sonia, or?
Well, no, not that much.
Good
but it'd be
woman.
nice if he was came to here, so like little bit. You
said you're 167, so
it's
that's okay.
There's a super popular Dutch telly show called Boer zoekt vrouw, which means farmer looking for a wife, like kind of an advert, you know. And it's like the most popular show, been for 20 years, I think, or something. So if you expand, you know, your horticultural works, because they do an international version as well, I'd say you'd get heaps of letters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I'm not a real farmer.
Oh, you've got a glass house and a polytunnel. I think you're getting there.
Yeah, and the garden.
Big polytunnel.
Big polytunnel. Yeah.
Jeez, look at the size of that polytunnel now.
Oh yeah, look at my poly. I've got a big polytunnel.
The thing though, with Sydney, I think we should do an episode with Sonia sometime, because you've so many stories that I would love to get on here.
Yeah.
But maybe we won't push the discomfort too far today.
No, this is bad enough, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. Are we almost
Hey,
there?
we have.
Are we there
Well,
yet?
the thing is, we have a session in a few.
In literally 2 minutes.
So
Do you know what I wanted to do? You know that tune that you play at the beginning of the podcast? Yeah, we have to start with that.
Oh,
We have to play that,
Western
and then,
Philosophy. I
Oh,
don't know
that'd
if
be
I
nice.
remember
Will
how
you
to
put
play
up-
that.
Will we be able to put on the Zoom for the session, and we just mix a bit of it in?
Yeah, we'll
And
do.
then we put a fiddle version with it.
Oh my God, that sounds
Ooh.
really exciting. Okay, that's a natural segue.
So we have to do that here live now.
100%. Love
Because
that idea.
that's actually such a nice tune. Did you just...
Oh,
You were
that means
just-
a lot coming from
Yeah,
you, Sonia.
thank
Thank
you.
you. We just came up with that together, and Anthony mixed in a
Really?
few. I love how it was so funny, because he was like improvised some vocals, and it was so awkward, but he still managed to cut us both in there, and it kind of were like, oh.
Yeah.
By the way, did Louise come to the... You know, there's little cards of things that
Not
she
yet,
has to do.
no. But she already heard the part. You gave the example of.
Yeah.
So there's little challenges in the Advent calendar
Okay.
as well, and one of them is to write her own tune. So
Yeah, I
I
was
told her
wondering-
that one, and she's really like. But I think you've got, like, this is the thing you're very good at. You're good at finding that discomfort
Yeah.
point, like the proximal, what is it, proximal learning point or something, where it's just close enough and
Yeah.
just far enough that
Yeah.
it's reaching.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah,
it's
because
within
I'm
reach.
wondering how she's going to do with that. That'd be so nice just to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the confidence has grown so much though, because she feels like a proper musician, you know,
Yeah, of
values
course.
her. And I said to her, like, if she wants to bring the concertina this morning, and she's like, I haven't played with all of your gang. I liked how she said, I haven't played with all of your gang yet. I was like, geez, you played in Pot Duggins, and that
And she played here.
was bit. Oh, she did play here
She
as well,
did
yeah.
play
But in
here.
Potts, it was really busy.
Potts was there was 5 or 6 people on stage and a full
full room
pub,
and
yeah.
people paying attention as well. And Sonia was just like, come on. You know, it's that kind of, you know, you're very good that way. And she said it yesterday. She talked about it. She was like, I didn't think I was going to do it. But then Sonia said I had to do it. So I did it.
God, I feel bad now.
No, it was gorgeous. It was a beautiful experience. Sure, like I never performed for people until I was looking 20 or something. You know, and
same
she
here,
was
same
she
here,
was
yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Sonia, thank you.
Was that it? That was kind of painless.
And yeah.
I don't remember how to play this, but okay. That was fun. That's the theme tune to the podcast.
But we didn't really remember what it's. This has been Western Philosophy on Cycles. Follow us on social media at Western Philosophy Pod, and if you want to support the podcast, you can buy us a coffee via the link in the episode description below. Thanks to Nadaa and Nolan of The Morning Dew for hosting us, and to Sonja, Henry and Nadaa for joining us on our first live episode. And lastly, we would like to pay a very special thanks to you, dear listener. We wouldn't have been able to do this without you guys, and the first season was a beautiful, connective, chaotic, crack-filled experience. So thanks very much. We will be back in September with more chats, guests, and Western philosophy. See you then. Slán.